Hello, welcome to another tonalist landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. The painting I'm bringing you here is called Autumn Trail 6x8. I painted this a couple days ago, and you are looking at the short version of a longer video. It's going to be hitting you about 2 or 3 days, and I think you're really going to enjoy it. I think you might enjoy this too. I kind of think it's good to put the short ones up. Some people are, don't have that extra time, and you can get quite a lot just from watching this too, I believe. Now, before I want to drive in, I want to acknowledge how much I value you and your support of this channel. I want to point out that this sort of thing, not as full-fledged as this, but there are hundreds of videos in the members area which are real-time. And, if you're looking for some guidance, instruction, or just to see how I put things together in the real world, check that out. That's $6 a month, and I appreciate you. Okay, so you're going to see all this in the long form one, but let's talk about it here because many of you may not make it to that. And what we're doing is working on a piece of MDF. It has 2 coats of house paint on it. Kind of tended to match a sort of burnt sienna tone. I'm working with some burn umber here for my under painting, and that's got a little bump of some rose madder in it, just to kind of make it a little extra pretty. Yeah. You've seen me do paintings before, and here we are. We're doing another one, and honestly, I never tire of it. I just love to. One other, I was a commercial illustrator. Many of you know that. I was for 13 years. I did all kinds of subjects and scenes and what have you. Landscape was a part of that, but when I decided I was done with the commercial part of the career, I went into landscape painting because I knew that I would find it infinitely challenging, for the whole rest of my life. And I have to say that's been absolutely the case. It is infinitely challenging, and I personally have learned so much in my journey. And you'll see me running an ad for the book in a little bit. That encapsulates that journey very much so, and is there for people that the whole channel's here for you if you like this kind of painting. So one of the reasons I wanted to present this sort of scene in this sort of format is because I think it's a bit difficult to paint. These forest scenes can be really, really complicated, and the real key to them, really like any scene, is simplification. And also I would say, well, this is quite subtle, but hey, let's try it. Let's see if we can get the idea across. Simplification, of course, but it's not just big simplification of the big, it's simplification of the small. What can happen, especially when we're working with photographic references, we can have this tendency to pull things from the reference image into our painting, which is obviously what we want to do. That's why we have a reference image. But in that reference image, there are things that will help your painting and things that will destroy your painting. And the difference is focus, okay? So what I do is I'm always for example, I painted probably 2/3 of this painting with my glasses off, okay? And that's very common for me. And the reason for that is I don't want to see the small things. I don't want to paint the small things. The small things in my painting should be there and occurring as a byproduct of my approach and my brushwork, right? So when I have people coming in my studio gallery, I get sometimes, oh, your work is so detailed. And, I just say, oh, thank you. Thanks a lot. But the fact of the matter is that I really don't do detail. I don't believe in it. I don't paint it. What I paint is shapes and colors, textures, and patterns. And I think that actually patterns is a good one to talk about because this is, you can see the patterns are quite apparent, and they are fairly apparent in the reference image as well. You've got these interlocking patterns of trees. I tend to refer to these as intervals, almost like you would see in a sheet music where you have time and distance and note length and things like that. Here we have, we have spacing in between elements and the relative strength of those elements, whether they're very strong or subordinate to other elements and things like that. Anyway, that's something we can hang our hat on. We can use that structure to kind of guide us as we are doing the rest of the paintings, the painting that is a lot more amorphous, a lot less defined. In this case, it's all that the light colored leaves with the light coming behind. And now, in fact, the Mike of maybe 10 years ago might have tried just, rolling up his sleeves and getting in there and painting a little bit of this and painting a little bit of that and just keep working until we got something. And that's probably what you're doing too. And hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. The thing is, though, that may not add up to a good painting. It probably won't unless you've been doing it a while. This is the thing I kind of want to try and communicate. You need to learn how to be satisfied and settle with your initial impression of things. Now, I will do a little bit of refinement. After I've taken on a part of the painting and painted it, I like to move on. Every now and again, I might add another stroke on top or change a little bit of this or that. But always with the sense that there should be some care and respect for the marks and strokes that have gone before. And this is one thing I've been teaching on this channel for quite a while. And let's get back into that a little bit more after we have this ad for the book. Now, the book contains condensed 10 years of painting knowledge, okay? When I started out, I just wanted to paint, and I was sort of painting in an impressionist way. And after a while, I discovered the tonalism, and that's how I wanted to paint. I love it. And but there was no instruction out there on how to paint that way. There was maybe a few things. Burge Harrison wrote a book, 100 years ago, with no pictures, I might add. Hold on here, guys. I got an appointment this morning, so okay, good. Anyway, it's the simplification, the big shapes, and then the micro simplification. Just be content with your brush strokes. I know that's hard because the frustration can get really, really intense, especially when you're trying to figure out something as complex as what's going on in this scene. Now, this scene has this kind of complex air and light sort of thing going on. Which I'm happy to go after. The kinds of things I really don't like to draw or paint are, complex city scenes with lots of buildings and cars and things like that. I really don't care for that. But even if I was, and I did occasionally have to do that kind of thing when I was a professional illustrator, and it would still be the same watchword. I would look for the the big shapes, the things that are important, and then the adjacent and supporting elements that will, make it extra beautiful, right? So that's what it's all about. And the real key, you've heard it from me before, but let's say it again. The real key is to make these efforts with this sort of model in mind, to make the efforts and make the paintings and just keep making them. Because in fact, this morning as I was getting dressed, I have it's not a painting, it's a print of one of the very first paintings that I sold here in New Zealand. It's a print of a tree on a hill, and there's little hills behind the tree, and it's on an angle, and I look at it all the time. And what's different in that than this? Well, obviously the scene is different, the subject is different, but the main thing's different. If you were to look at it, you go, wow, Mike, you got like hundreds more strokes here than you do now. Everything is kind of reduced to these little, 1/8 inch marks, right? And that's what you get when you keep working over things, and that's a valid approach. I think it tends to look like Pizarro or someone like that, you know. Although, gosh knows, Pizarro's stuff's pretty fresh; it's not overworked, you know. But you keep going over the elements that you're trying to paint, and you had a series of large and small strokes that were kind of portraying it, and you go over it again, you're going to end up with a bunch more small strokes. That's how it works. It's an approach, but I think what's better is to leave things alone, let it be fresh, and I've been basically working in that way for the last like 7, 8 years, and it's ongoing. Now I'm not one of these kinds of guys that really likes super loose abstract work. You know, you're not going to see me show up one day with my 2-inch brush and my 6x8 panel making paintings with just big shapes. You know, I'm going to subdivide things and bring in a bunch of other stuff and do my best to get the feeling across. Now, speaking of that, hey, this was the big payoff, right? Everything I was doing up to this point was supporting the lighter colors that are going to come in. So I basically did work from a dark, moving on to light. The exception, of course, is that that bright light in the sky. That had to be there because I was coming to meet that. So a lot of times with this sort of scene, what I'll do is I will, get the basic structure indicated, and then I will, start, usually if it's a different kind of scene than this, I would paint in the sky. But even in this one, I painted in the sky. I did the bright bits. And then I will work in the landscape from the darkest to meet the lightest aspects. And that approach, I think, is very sound. It works great for me. And here you see. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this. And obviously, I'm talking about it live as I'm doing it. But you can see I had that light bit of sky over on our left. And then I brought in that bright yellow, and you can hear it in the video. I'm saying, well, I'm going to have to lighten the sky now to match this, and really, it just brought everything to life. I'm really happy with this painting, and I'm gonna make an effort to put it in my store. Maybe somebody in the world wants to buy it. I've been very negligent about keeping up the store, and which is sad because I sell things in the store sometimes when I put things there. But not everything I put there, moves automatically. And what happens is you get kind of this backlog, and then what happens is I consign paintings to galleries, and I forget they're in my store, and someone goes to buy them, and so on and so forth. A bunch of things you don't care about. But I'm gonna pop this in there. I've been trying to do that with all of these that are presented in this way, because they're, it's me trying to condense and condense what I've done over a period of time and say, here, check this out. These tend to be stronger paintings. I know there's stronger reference. I knew this reference was strong. I had painted this before. You can find it on the channel, and you don't even need to look that far. It's about 2 months ago, 3, and I like the painting. I was always looking at it in my drawing area, though, going, man, I see those. Oh, right where I have my brush, so there's 2 trees together. I had this one bent tree there, and I ended up giving the painting to one of my students who really liked it, and of course she loves the bent tree. I don't like the bent tree. I had to move on. I had to redo it, and that was a perfect catalyst. Oh, you like that painting? Take that painting away. And that leaves me space to do a new painting, which is more in line with my vision of how I want things to be. And here we see it. It's a beautiful, glowy forest path. And how lovely it would be to walk down that path and maybe go have a lunch or something like that. Anyway, look for the big one. It's coming. You're going to like it. It's got a lot of good teaching in there. There's a few good ideas in this video too, but it's all good. I really appreciate you coming around. Leave me a like. Please leave me a comment. And enjoy the video. yeah, get to work, get to painting. And until I come back with another video for your edification and enjoyment, do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, your family, all your loved ones. Stay out of trouble, and God bless you and your family.